Hi, I'm Jamie from Write On with Jamie, and today we're going to discuss sentence fragments and run-on sentences in writing. But first, we need to determine what sentence fragments and run-on sentences are and why they are detrimental or harmful to your writing. Regardless of the subject you're writing about or the audience you're writing for, when you write, you need to use complete sentences that thoroughly express the ideas you are trying to convey. Using correct grammar makes anything easier to read. Nothing distracts your reader more than grammatical errors, and sentence fragments and run-on sentences are at the top of the list in grammatical errors in writing. Now you might be asking, Jamie, how can I identify and avoid sentence fragments and run-on sentences? I'm so glad you asked. Today, we are not only going to cover how to identify and avoid them, but also how to correct those tricky ones that sneak by you. So let's begin. It has been said, the pen is the tongue of the mind, which is correct. If we use our mouth to speak and express our thoughts, then it makes sense that we would use a pen to write and express those same thoughts on paper. Because the expression of your thoughts is critical to communication, you should do everything possible to make your written work easy to read and comprehend. This will demonstrate your command of conventions, which is basically grammar, spelling, punctuation, capitalization, etc. To this end, it is important to understand and avoid sentence fragments and run-on sentences. And also, it's crucial to good writing to know how to correct both. So let's take a look at sentence fragments first. A sentence fragment is a group of words that look like a sentence, but isn't. To be a sentence, the group of words must express a complete thought and have at least one independent clause, which is a group of words that contain both a subject and a verb and can stand on its own. Basically, sentence fragments are vague groups of words that are not complete. Now, let's take a look at these examples of sentence fragments and determine what they need to become complete sentences. Number 1, in the classroom. If you are asking yourself who or what is in the classroom, then you understand why this isn't a complete sentence or an independent clause. In order to make this fragment a complete sentence, you will need to add both a subject and a verb. Number 2 is a bit trickier, although I did my homework. It seems as though you have a subject, I, and a verb, did, but a close look shows us that this is actually a dependent clause, meaning for it to make sense, there needs to be more. Although I did my homework, what? Was there a consequence? What was the consequence? A subject and verb can never be part of a dependent clause. You will need to add a complete sentence to the end of this fragment to express a complete thought. But make sure to put a comma at the end of this dependent clause. Whenever you introduce a sentence with a dependent clause, there will be a comma after the dependent clause. Because it was hot outside. You are in the same situation with this fragment as you were with the one before. It and was seem to be the subject and verb until closer inspection. Because it was hot outside, what happened? So again, you will need to add a complete sentence to the end of this fragment to express a complete thought. And remember to put that comma after the dependent clause. If you have the worksheet for this lesson, you can pause the video here and answer questions 1 through 5. Review the previous section of the video to help you determine the correct answers. I hope you have enjoyed this introduction to sentence fragments and run-on sentences in writing. If you would like the entire lesson, click on the links in the description. I have both a middle school and a high school version. The lesson comes complete with both a digital component ready to be used in any learning management system for independent student instruction and a classroom-ready component with PowerPoint and PDFs. Detailed lesson plans and the rest of this entertaining instructional video complete the lesson. This resource is also part of a sentence fluency and grammar bundle that includes the following lessons: adverbs, comma splices, commas in a list, complex sentences as transitions, complex sentences, compound sentences, sentence fragments and run-on sentences, gerunds, prepositions and prepositional phrases, and transition words. Thanks for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right on!